Well, Gary, I'm not quite sure how you didn't win that game with the amount of chances that you created.
Yeah, disappointed that we didn't win it, but I think it's again synonymous with probably the last 8 or 9 games where we've actually played well in quite a number of them, or large portions of the game, and not managed to win it. And that's a little bit of a frustration at the end of the season, because I think if you're one of our fans that have travelled down in such great voice, you would have seen a pretty solid first half performance, a lot like a lot of our away performances this year, where we get a goal, a little bit of a breakaway. Disappointed that at the minute we seem to give poor goals away, but Grounds held his hand up and he knows he's made a mistake, and he apologised to the lads at half time, and it's a pretty honest mistake. Second half, I thought we just got better and better. We changed it at half time. We pushed up 15-20 yards up the pitch. We tried to stop them rolling the ball out to see if they could handle that little bit of extra pressure on them to play. And I thought we did that really, really well. And the longer the game went on, probably the last 30 minutes of the game, I thought we were absolutely excellent, and really should have got into some, all the positions we did get into, should have done better, But I can't ask too much. We had 2 balls cleared off the line. One looked like it might have just been over. We've hit the post twice. Unfortunately for Vaughan, he couldn't find that all elusive goal. You can see the lad is so desperate to score it. But I was really pleased, and once again I've gone in there and said, listen, just like all season, you've given absolutely everything for me, so they deserve a beer or two tonight, I think.
You mentioned James Vaughan there. I mean, so unlucky, wasn't he? He was through. He'd done the hard work almost, but his shot just clipped the inside of the post.
Yeah, it did, yeah. I mean, 8 minutes to go, and plus a bit of stoppage time, so maybe 10, 11 minutes. I'm thinking, is this the time Vaughan might just come on and get that goal he's been waiting for? He's found it really difficult coming here, a little bit of pressure on him because he's a blue nose, or his dad is, and I think there's a little bit of frustration that he takes onto the pitch with him. You can see him a little bit tense in them positions, but he's nicked the ball off the centre half. He's ended up through on goal, and he looked like he'd actually opened his body up quite well. I don't know whether maybe in that situation he might have been better to drill it low and hard and hope for the best, but he actually showed good composure, and it's just hit the inside of a post and come back out. So you can see from him at that point he thinks I'm never going to score for Birmingham City. So, but listen, that's again, we'll pick him up, and we'll reflect on lots of things that happened today during the off season.
You gave Charlie Adams his starting debut for Blues. How did you assess his performance?
I thought he did okay. We wanted to put him in a fairly strong team, because I think it's always difficult to give a player a start with 3 or 4 other youngsters, because then how do you really reflect on, if a team struggles against the opponents? And you saw Cardiff today put a very strong lineup out, probably as strong as they could put out, and I think he did okay. I think he'll learn a lot from it. The way the game moves around him, the way bodies move around him. When you play the way we do and we let the opposition start with the ball and hope to intercept and break. Showed a couple of lovely long passes, which he's hit a great ball to Dave Davis. That's what he's really good at. That's one thing we think we'll get out of him that perhaps the other midfielders haven't necessarily got, is a really good range of long passing. And I thought he acquitted himself pretty well.
10th place finish, 63 points, exactly the same as last season. You just said earlier there to the media that you're actually disappointed that you didn't finish higher, and it's maybe not a true reflection on the progress that has been made over the last sort of 18 months, last 12 months.
No, if you look at our last 10 games, the amount of points we've taken, as opposed to how well we've played, we really should be, I would say at least up around 70 points. But we're not, because we haven't taken those points, so I'm not going to complain about that. But I think our performances have warranted that. I also think that, like we said before, at the end of that Reading game, that moment where Thomas saved a penalty to get us that win, we've not been out of the top 10. That's 45 games of not being out of the top 10 all season. Probably 35 games of challenging for the top 6. Over a course of a season, being incredibly competitive against the best sides in the division. Again, coming away to Cardiff and being, I think, the better team overall, and creating the most chances overall. So I think there's lots of things we can take as positives. Of course, there's things we know we're disappointed with. We're disappointed with the last 10 games points tally. We're disappointed we haven't managed to stay around 6th, but you know what, in life a little bit of disappointment's great if you can use it to spur you on, if you can use it to motivate you to better things. And I spoke to the players yesterday and I said, you know, as staff, we've sit down, we've reflected on everything we think we could have done better, everything we think we need to do better for next season as a club. And the players have to do the same. They have to reflect on what are they going to do to come back a better, stronger, fitter, technically better player for next season, and then we'll try to add to that.